Mike Davenport of the Ataris.
Hello.
It is second day of Riot Fest. It is September 2025. I ask this truly as a not just a casual question, but how are you doing?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. We just flew in last night from LA, and today I wanted to come to see a couple bands. I want to see War. I want to see Weezer, and and I wanted to get these great talks done today, so I don't have to do them on the day of we play.
You know what? That makes a lot of sense. Have a nice, easy, chill day, and then have the work day.
It is. I'm the talker for the band, and often we just got back from Europe, and they have the same press area in Europe on the festivals, and I'm running in between our set, before our set, after set, and I'm doing the interviews, and I'm running back, and I'm playing, and I'm running back, and I go, I told my publicist I'd really love to do that as many as I could this day so that I could focus on the show tomorrow. So
now you have a little bit of experience.
I do.
And that's, as someone of our age group, we call it experience. We don't call it, we don't call it age, but Riot Fest itself is also experience. Now this is 20 years.
20 years, wild, right?
So for the Ataris and for you specifically, what were you up to 20 years ago?
20 years ago would be 2005, and I was actually finishing up my first 12 years in the Ataris and working on my first record in my other band, Versus the World. And we put out our first record in 2005. That did pretty well. So I'm still rocking with that a little bit too.
I feel like the early to mid 2000s were such a pivotal musical time. It's so amazing to see that there's so many bands from that time that are still making music or are making music again. What do you attribute to that?
I always say, I was just talking about this, is that our career isn't like an arc, it's like an ebb and flow, right? Like life is an ebb and flow. We started really small, and then we work our way, and we have Boys of Summer, and we're on the top, and then we have some downtime, and we go down the hill and come up and down, COVID and all that, and then we come back. But the cool thing is now is our genre of music and rock and pop punk is back, right? And the kids are latching on to it. And that's the thing that's different, is that unlike a lot of genres of music that have their time and that's it, like hair metal or things like that, pop punk and punk rock has really come back stronger than it's ever been. Bands like Green Day, Weezer, Blink-182, those bands had their moment in the early 2000s, and then now they're having their moment again 20 years later.
Yeah, it's interesting. I read somewhere that your cover of Boys of Summer from Don Henley wasn't even meant to be a single.
Never. No, it wasn't. We actually, it was one of those things where we kind of got tricked by the record company. You hear those stories of the record company. We played it. We used to play it. My singer and I heard it over the loudspeaker of a truck stop. We started playing the song live. Our A&R guy at Columbia Records said, "Oh, it's a great song. We're going to do this for the Godzilla soundtrack, the one with Matthew Broderick in it." We're like, "Oh, that sounds cool." So we recorded it. And then they said, "Oh, you missed the soundtrack, but you're going to put it on the record." My singer was like, "We are not putting that on the record. We're not going to be known as a cover band, blah, blah, blah." And then it was a big fight. And then he finally convinced him, "Put it on the record, it won't be a single, I promise." And then we did our first single, which was In This Diary, did very well. And so we were getting ready to follow it up with our second single. And next thing you know, I'm driving down Sunset in LA, and Boys of Summer's on K-Rock. And I call my singer, I'm like, "Chris, I think we got duped." Sure as hell, they basically gave us that, you back Boys of Summer or you'll never work in this town again kind of a thing. But to their benefit,
They weren't wrong.
They weren't wrong. No, and we had a lot of mixed feelings about it for many years when you're young and really doing this thing. Now, in our more experienced age, I would tell you that Boys of Summer is the greatest gift we could have ever had. I think our management looked it up recently, and it's played an average of 2 times a day on almost every radio station in America.
At least I would believe
I think
that.
It's 4 times a day in the summer and then 1 time a day in the winter. But it averages out.
Knowing now what you know and thinking about how you felt then, what advice would you tell your younger self who listened to that song on the radio?
You know, I would tell my younger self definitely to play their game. We were punk rockers, and we were fighting the label all the time. We were fighting for what we thought was our punk rock values and all that. And now we've got this second resurgence. And the one thing my singer always says is that I'm here to play we're here to play the game, right? We want to play ball. We want to do what's best for our music. And back then we were trying to be Kurt Cobain, right? We wanted, the record company was the devil, and we were fighting for our art. And I think there's a middle ground, right, of that. Yeah, we can be great artists and still do the things that need to be done. So
I think that's good advice for everyone involved.
it is.
About 20 years ago, Blue Sky's Broken Hearts came out.
You're 25.
25.
Yeah, 25.
Talk about experience. How did that LP represent who you were then?
Blue Skies is my singer's from Indiana, but I'm from Santa Barbara, and he moved to Santa Barbara, and the band that's going to be playing tomorrow, the one that's been the band for 30 years, got together, and that's the record that we made together, the first record. And Blue Skies is our homage to Santa Barbara. It's Blue Skies is the actual image on the cover of the album is a trailer park in Santa Barbara, and it's sort of this thing that's a dichotomy, right? It's this beautiful neon sign, but it's a trailer park. But it's a trailer park in Santa Barbara. So, there's that to be said. Plus, Broken Hearts, next 12 exits. We're writing lots of songs about girls, and Santa Barbara has 12 exits. So it's sort of our coming together record. And Rolling Stone named it like the 42 greatest pop punk records of all time. So can't go wrong there either.
And I believe I also read that there's a little reissue of the vinyl.
There is, yeah. There's a label out of Austria that does great vinyl, and they did 4 separate pressings of it, and one of them's my favorite. It's the picture disc of the Blue Sky sign. It's really super cool. They're almost all sold out, I think, already. But so I think you can get them on the resale sites, but they're not cheap.
No.
So
How do you think your sound has evolved from Anywhere But Here to now?
Well, now I would say we're a rock band that came from punk rock, right? We're a rock band. Car Song is our first single in 17 years. It hit into the 40s on the alternative charts recently, and we're very proud of it. And it's a great rock song, but we come from punk rock, so we always try to keep that mix of keeping our fans happy, not doing something completely wild, but at the same time staying true to our older selves. Right.
What is inspiring songwriting now?
I think it's the same thing that always has. I think it's more of storytelling. We're a band that's about storytelling. Anywhere But Here really isn't that kind of. There's glimpses of it, but starting in Blue Skies onward, we really started to mature. And I think storytelling. There's lots of bands with great 3-minute songs that are funny and things like that. We always love to tell stories with imagery in our songs, and that's what we do.
Is it storytelling that's more autobiographical or referential?
It's both. It's both. Yeah. There's songs like In This Diary that's all about times you wouldn't know it, but we know it when we hear things like fireworks in parking lots and cherry cokes. That all stuff that happened to us, but then it also transcends to other people, and they can relate to it as well.
That's a very universal song, I feel like.
Yeah.
It also kind of harkens to like this time in America that we wish we would have again.
Right? And that's our generation. And then even the generation before us, the boomers, had that about the 50s as well. So it just keeps repeating itself. But we like being storytellers. We definitely don't want to just write songs about, trite things. And we want our songs to hold up years down the road. And I think that shows, with us playing Astoria tomorrow.
I was going to say that. Did you read my note cards? You're playing So Long Astoria. Are you playing it front to back? Or you?
No, we mix it up, and I'll tell you why. Because the older, wiser us, my singer has vocal ranges now that he has to get warmed up for. So we actually start our set every single night whenever we play with 3 songs off Astoria, sometimes 4. And those songs will start off like that, and they're out of order. But we'll play the whole album, just all in different orders.
Nice. I mean, that album, it's such a pivotal album. I'm sure it was very pivotal for the band's success
It
as
is,
well.
yeah.
I not to go back to covers, but I also hear that you're a fan of Bryan Adams. Is that true?
Well, you know,
Have you met him?
We have not.
Oh, we got to work on that.
Yeah,
Come
yeah.
on. Social media's got to do something for us.
I have spoke to Don Henley twice on the phone.
Nice.
So, yeah, but Bryan Adams, not yet. Maybe after the new record comes out, I will get to meet him.
Do we have a release date for it yet?
It's early March. Like
Okay.
March 2nd is our tentative. We'll see. The powers that be are...
Well,
Yeah.
and knowing that there's only so much you have control over, do you feel an obligation? I'm sure when the band got started, social media was, dare I say, Tumblr and MySpace?
Yeah, it wasn't even that when we started. No, our 30th anniversary is like next year. Yeah, yeah.
Do you have an obligation to be on social now, or like to do certain things?
We do. We actually do. It's something that's very much helped the band. I'm all about it. My singer Chris is all about it, and so we try to push the band on social media, but not so much. It's more about the band and maybe our family, but nothing political, nothing controversial. I just can't, that part of social media. That's why I like Instagram better than Facebook, right? Instagram is much more mundane. Facebook can be somewhere weird. And I didn't start social media until after COVID. Like I'm young at it, like 5 years or something like that, 5-6 years. So
you didn't miss anything, don't worry.
I didn't. I'd always heard these horror stories, and I see a little of it now, but I think I missed that era of just terribleness. So, which is good. When I came into it, Instagram was already a thing, so it wasn't as brutal to me. I was like, what is everybody all upset about? But I know I missed it, so.
Well, you're not going to miss any good music this weekend, that's for sure. No. What's up for you guys after Riot Fest?
So, very next weekend, we're playing Bend, Oregon, and Boise, Idaho with our good friends MXPX. The very next Thursday after that, we're playing Aftershock Festival with Blink-182, Alkaline Trio, and then after that weekend, we're going to Santa Barbara to play a private show, and then after that weekend, over to Montreal and Quebec and Boston. So it never stops.
Excellent. I love it. Well, stay tuned for much more from the Ataris. This is Jackie. Thanks to In the Key of Change and Chorus FM.